three key reasons. First is that in our 10-year partnership with South Korea, we understand that they deeply understand the Korean marketplace, and they also deeply understand communications both in the traditional sense as well as in the digital sense. So they're a great partner and great cultural fit for us. That's the first. The second is Korea is a vibrant economy, and inventors, this is a place for invention, and that's a real sweet spot for Waggener EDSTROM. So Korea and the knowledge that Shout has of Korea is a great partnership. And then the third is because we believe that we have today shared clients like Microsoft, and we believe that we can do more to win clients in Korea with Shout and bring them global. Well, major trends are around, it used to be that in the past it was a very narrow place that we competed, which was in public relations. So storytelling and talking to the public, setting up publicity. But now the space is much broader. The marketing disciplines, so marketing, advertising, and PR have all started to come together. And so one of the major trends is that global communications companies are offering paid, owned, and earned services for their clients. And what I mean by paid is some agencies are actually beginning to do advertising. Owned, I mean, we have begun to build websites for our clients and help them build blogs and help them establish their own Facebook pages, so their own assets. And then earned, the opportunity for earned gets even bigger. It's not, earned is around things that are influence that is brokered via relationship versus influences brokered via me paying you for that. So social media and helping brands learn how to use social media is really important in the earned space. Continued storytelling with journalists and news outlets, making sure that they have the stories, but they're brought to life in new and different ways. So what is a major trend is the combination of paid, owned, and earned. And what that allows is an audience now, whenever they want to experience a brand, however they want to experience a brand, we're giving a full 360-degree relationship with that audience. So they're surrounded by that brand, not just one way or another way, but it's an entirety. I think there are three major things that are happening with the advent of the social media channels. First is there's a whole bunch of new channels available to influence and engage with audiences. And I think there's a big question mark about which audience and which channel. So I think first is really creating a framework for understanding, you know, what assets you have, which channels you're on, which channels you should be on, and then how do you feed those channels all the time. So there is some, we're getting to a point in social media where we need to begin to ask the questions why and what's the business outcome. So I think that's one real key trend. The second trend is around content. A platform is only a channel is only as good as the content that you put on top of it. So just like your readers and those who view your program, if your content isn't interesting and valuable, they're not going to come back. Same thing for a brand. So they're beginning to rethink how content and how story becomes really important. And it's not the same way that it used to be, where it was one directional. Now it's got to be shareable. It's got to be something that brings me in and makes me feel like I own the brand. So content becomes really important. And then I think the third trend is around how the return on investment and measuring, so ROI and measurement around social media. I always say, if you can't prove it, don't do it. I think in the early days of social media, we were just trying, many brands tried it just to try it. Now we have to show business results associated with it. So those three things, the first being deeply understanding what the right channels are and being on those. Second, developing the right content that is resonant with your audiences. And third, being able to measure and prove business outcome. Those are three key trends. Waggener EDSTROM has been around for 28 years, and we started with software. We started in technology. Microsoft was our first client, and so we like to say that we have our roots in technology and our DNA is technology. So we actually have developed, using software, a number of tools. One is called Twins Pro that uses Twitter to be able to analyze the conversations that are happening and understand, are we driving the business results that we need to drive. We have created tools like the Social Influence System, which is a consulting framework, which we're actually using with POSCO right now. And we can talk a little bit more about that, to help the brands that we work with analyze where they are, understand what systems they need to set up underneath their social media system, and then what they need to measure so that they can see the business results. So that is the Social Influence System, is a second tool. And then we have an entire insights and analytics team that this partnership allows us to work more closely and bring those tools to our the Korean marketplace, that is built around KPIs and the development of measurement and metrics. And we have a whole sort of system, the way that we think about that, and that as well would be a framework that we would bring to the table. So we have a lot of tools. Many of them are built on software. Many of them are built on indicators that have been around in marketing for a long time, and others are around sort of new indicators, things that engagement and influence, things that in the past we haven't been able to pattern, but with software we can today. Well, I'm going to put on my mom hat. I have 4 teenagers, or 3 teenagers and 1 who thinks she's going to be a teenager. Not allowed to yet. And I also am an expert in digital communications, and so I care about what my kids put online. And I think that it does not matter. There is no difference today than there used to be. We talk about in our home about how important it is that they only post what they know that they would be okay having their mom know about. We talk about what pictures should look like online and what shouldn't, what things you don't post online. And so I think we as a society need to realize that every time we put something out there, it is available to other people. Can there still be privacy? Absolutely, and it's very important, but it's more about the behavior we use on top of those social channels and less about the social channels. So as a parent, I would say, please make sure you're having conversations with your children and educating them. That is as important as knowing what their channels that they're on. And in our house, I know all of the passwords, I'm friends with all of them, so I see everything that they're saying. And I think that that's my job as a parent, but as an adult, everything I put on there, I assume if I was not comfortable seeing it on your magazine or on your newspaper, if it was not on the front page of a major newspaper and I would be uncomfortable about it, then I shouldn't post it. So it's a behavioral issue, not a channel issue. So in taking a minority stake in Shout, now Shout Waggener EDSTROM, we believe that we can, number one, add more value to our Korean clients, our Shout Korea clients, by bringing global frameworks and consulting frameworks and products and services to Shout for them to be able to bring that to the Korean market. The second value is that we believe that there are some tremendously interesting, innovative companies in Korea that we would like together with Shout to take outside of Korea and bring to the rest of the globe. So we're very excited about that. And I think third, we believe that the relationship with Shout Korea and now Shout Waggener EDSTROM allows us to grow our Asia Pacific region in a much more aggressive way. And so we just think Korea is a really interesting place to be right now.
I can read my handwriting.
Around bringing the global frameworks and
sorry.
yeah.